Hello, everybody. So, my name's Kigers02, and I'm gonna show you how to make this animated GIF in Mine-imator, where he kind of waves, bends forward, and then so we're gonna take and animate our Minecraft person, and then we're gonna use the first program we're gonna use is called Mine-imator, Mine-imator. This program you can then take and export as pictures or videos and things like that. And I will show you how to do this part here. Then we're going to take that same image, we're going to export as some pictures, and this is an old one, but then we're going to put it into this program called Gimp, Gimp. And in Gimp, we're going to export it as a GIF, GIF, whatever peanut butter flavor you want to call it. And once it's done, you will get something that looks like this. Just like that. Just like that. So, that is our end goal, is to have something like that. So, let's start from scratch. So let's do a new, yes, we're going to save this. New project, and we're going to say, figures, GIF, demo. Okay. So this is what you're presented with when you first start up Mine-imator and create your first project. You've got a Minecraft area, and you can see here you've got this amazing thing. I'm going to close this guy. This amazing area. There is lots of abilities for this program. I'm just going to scratch a little bit of the surface because we're not going to use half of them. But in theory, you can actually import your world into here. You can't import a server, but if you've got a world copy, you can import that world right into here, and you can have your characters move around, all that stuff. So let me show you how to do just a basic adding of a character. So you're going to go to your crafting table, just like you do in Minecraft. Go to your crafting table to make things. Click on this, and then here's the first choice you've got to make. What are you importing? So in this case, I'm importing myself. And I know I use a Steve. If you use an Alex, you can use Alex. But I'm going to use Steve. Then skin. This is really, really cool. So you have the option of browsing for it. So if you've got it downloaded, or for some of you that have multiple skins, you can have them browse for it, click on it, and grab it. Or if you're like me and super lazy, click on download from Minecraft, and you just type in your username, which mine is Kigers02. Give it a moment, and boom, the skin comes in. Don't forget to hit create. Sometimes I forget to do that, and it's a pain in the butt. All right, so now one of the things we're going to do first is down here it says Steve. See that, Steve? That's not a good description. We're going to change that name to Kigers02. Does it matter in this case? Not really, but there are some other images that I've made where I've used several different character models, and it's really nice to not have them all called Steve. Just saying. So just something to get in the habit of doing right away. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice is that your character may be turning one way. So you can do this one of two ways. It's up to you. The first way that you can do this is you can either rotate the camera. So the camera is controlled by your mouse, and I'm left clicking and dragging on the open field, and it's moving that. Okay. The other way you can do it is you have to get used to these circles that are surrounding your character. Now, if you've got this timeline open, it does make editing the character a whole heck of a lot easier. The top one, when you click on the name, is the overall character. If I were to click, like, let's say into body, for example, now I'm just focusing on the body of Kigers. You can see this white line here because he bends at the hips, and then that's where it ends. Again, right leg, left leg, you can kind of see where those things are. So I'm going to go back to Kigers02, and I'm going to rotate him just slightly. And maybe you want to add a little bit of depth there. And I kind of like that the way the sun is hitting, and it's kind of giving me a little bit of depth. That's pretty cool. All right, so a couple of things I like to do when I'm doing this, because right now, Kigers' body is pretty stick straight, right? So I like to just come in, I'm going to grab my right leg, and I'm going to use this red circle, and I'm going to drag it just a little bit out to the side. Just a little bit, just that one. I'm going to grab the left leg. I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to drag it just the opposite way. See, it just gives a little bit of separation because no one really ever stands with their legs perfectly together. Just saying. Another thing you can do, by the way, check this out. So body, like I said, is that top half, right? See this little caret? Just like this one on Keygear02, you can click it and more things happen. So there's your head, which with our hat, and right arm and left arm. So I'm right-handed, and you may want your character to be right-handed, or you may want them to be left-handed, but either way, again, I'm just going to give that little bit of separation. No, wrong way. We're going to just separate that arm from that body, just slightly, because again, well, maybe, maybe it's a little too much, but just play with that little red circle. Now, the other circles do other things. You've been seeing me grab that red circle. Let's grab a leg, because the leg is kind of more interesting. So you guys see that red circle? This blue one rotates the leg. So like if you want to do like a little bit of that. Let's go back to the right leg again. And this blue ring bends the knee. So you can actually have a little bit of motion in there. The yellow one is also going to bend at the hips. You can have kind of one of those. That doesn't look half bad, actually. I'm going to leave it just like that. It gives that little bit of texture to it. Really, really nice. Okay, guys. Now, one thing you may or may not have noticed is on this timeline, there are these, they're called keyframes. Okay? Now, a keyframe, I'm going to relate this back to if you've ever used replay mod, or if you're into audio editing, Audacity. These keyframes are kind of your starting locations for everything. So for example, I can, they're only changed right now if I've changed something, and that's something you want to keep in mind. But you can just double click on an area and create one, just like that. I'm just going to drag it over. Oop. And there you can see now it created one for the body. And you can see I'm also dragging them, just like that. And that'll come into play later. I'm going to create another one just because I can. Perfect. Okay. And the reason I'm doing that is because that gives you a starting location for all of your animations. Okay. You may or may not want to do that. The reason I did do it this time, which I'm learning because you saw me create that other one, is later on when I went to do that bow, I'll show you. Anyway. So, let's go back. We're going to go back here. So this is kind of your starting part here. All right. But the first thing I want to do is I'm going to be waving, right? So I'm going to take my right arm, and I'm going to start it actually right about there. And you can see I just rotated that red circle. If you wanted to, you can do this one. This one rotates the arm, which I'm not sold. Maybe I am. That's not too bad. Okay. There is also, I don't know if you're seeing this as well, but let's go back to that arm. You can see here that you've got more granular control-ish with this. So like I can, instead of grabbing the circle here, I can grab this and do things there. Control Z, by the way, is an amazing button. It's the undo, just like you do everything else. Okay. Now, that is the first keyframe. That is where the starting position of my character is going to be for that animated GIF, for that waving GIF. Okay, next. I think this is the button. Make sure this is clicked on here. What this does, is it looks at your timeline and it gives you those, let's toggle it off and on again. So this is a half second. This is a full second. Those are your markers to kind of tell you how fast these things are moving, right? And it's not a big deal. I'll show you. We'll play this and you'll see then how it looks. But that just wanting to show you. So it gives you kind of a point of reference. So for example, a half second later, I'm going to double click right here on my right arm. And I'm going to bring it up right there. Okay, so again, I'm waving, right? So I'm going to hit stop. The other button I want you to click right here is this repeat animation. What that's going to do is it's going to just literally repeat what's going on here. So I'm going to hit play and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, boom, just like that. So he's giving a little wave, Okay, we're going to stop please. Okay, so our next keyframe that we're going to worry about is this guy right here. And again, we're just going to rotate that arm out. Now, if you wanted to, you could take a look at this one and you can say, oh, the z-axis is at negative 155.96. I'm going to go back over here for the right arm. And you could do the same thing, but you know what? People wave at different rates. So that's cool. Hit stop, hit play. There you go. Nice little waving animation. If you wanted to loop that forever and you just wanted your character to wave, perfect. You're done. You don't have to do anything else, and you can jump to the exporting part of this video. But I'm going to keep going. So we're going to go here. We're going to double click here. And we're going to do this. And then we're going to double click here. And do this. And then we're going to hit stop. We're going to hit play. Just a good idea to just kind of, you know, reset yourself, see how things look. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here at this time. And this time I'm going to do another one. Another keyframe, all I'm doing, double clicking right on that right arm. That's it, just double clicking. And I'm actually going to bring it down. Okay, just like that. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so let's stop, let's hit play. It's a little fast. What do you guys think? Maybe it's a little fast? Okay, so this is the part where you can just grab this guy, drag it over. Look at that. So let's see how that did. Not bad, right? Not bad. One thing to remember is this is going at 24 frames per second, I believe. Yes, that's what I'm seeing. So 24 frames per second. So the fact that I'm at 48 means that I'm literally at 2 seconds. That's what, again, these big lines mean. Now, 24 frames per second, that seems a little bizarre, right? Usually you've heard of 30 or 60. Those are just nice round numbers. That's okay. But this is animating at 24 frames per second. Again, as is noted by that. And that's typically, I believe, like, if I remember my animation correctly, the Simpsons cartoon is animated at 24 frames per second. That is what you're seeing here. Okay? So 2 seconds long so far. Not too bad. All right. Next, so we got our arm down. Cool. Wait, do we? No, it's over here. Sorry. We're at a whopping 72, so we're at 3 seconds. I don't want to go too much longer. We're going to aim for 5 seconds. That's it. So that's this 120 mark. So the next thing I'm going to do, and this is critically important. I want to rephrase. I don't want to understate this. This is critically important. Remember how I said I double-clicked all the first one, so then it's everything's there? Well, now I'm going to move another body part, and that's going to be the body. And if I don't create that keyframe right here where I'm going to start the move of the body will then start moving all the way back at the beginning. Okay, so let's screw this up. Let's not make that keyframe. And I'm going to click on body. And I'm going to take this yellow line. Actually, we're not going to start rotating there, right? We're going to start rotating and maybe finish rotating right there and bend over right there. Boom. Done. Now, I'm going to hit stop. We're going to refresh it. Now, because I didn't put a keyframe here, I want to show you what's going to happen. Slowly bending down, right? Bad llama. So we're going to undo that because now we're going to put that keyframe in with him standing straight up. Now, I undid that because if I didn't undo that, it would... Let me show you. So we're going to go here. We're going to bend over. Let me show you what's going to happen. So let's say I bend over here, right there, boom. Now, if I were to just go back, oh, I missed the keyframe. I'm going to go back here and just put one in. See, the body's at an angle. So it might just be easier to undo, double click, come back here, and then boom down. And now we play. Oops. Okay, what'd I do? I did something wrong. What's going on? Why did it? No, it's right. It's right. Okay. Oh, I don't know. All right, so let's take a look at what happened here. This guy didn't do this. Let's bend over here. Let's try that again. Stop, play. What am I missing? I think I did the wrong keyframe. Okay, all right, we're gonna take a step back. We're gonna take a step back. We're just gonna do this. If it's fighting you, just like this one is, you know what? I can do this. Make sure that's around 0, so we'll go back. There we go, we got 0. This one should now bend forward. Let's hit here, play. All right, there we go. And again, I'm doing this in real time, guys, because I want to show you how relatively quickly, I respect, we're at 15 minutes, and we've just made not even 5 seconds of animation. But that's okay. That's all right. Stop. Next. I'm going to end here at this 5-second mark. This is going to be the last one. Double-clicking to make that keyframe. I'm just going to grab this guy, pull it down here, because you saw how easy it was to get that back to 0. Boom. Done. Stop. Play. And guess what, guys? We are mostly done with Mine-imator. That's my goal right there. See that? Puts everything back. There you go. Just like that. That's my GIF. Almost done. Now, the goal of this is to make it with that background. So you got 2 options. I'm going to make this specifically for Streamlabs. And Streamlabs will take a transparent image and put a background on it so you can chroma key it out. So I'm going to show you 2 ways on how to do this. One way, actually I'm going to show you 2 ways at once. It's going to be amazing. The first thing that you do have to do is we're going to go over here. We got our body properties, which is this guy. But we're going to go over here to project properties. And there are several things you need to uncheck in order to make this look really well. Really good. Really well. That's not a thing. Okay. So first of all, we're going to go to background. We are going to leave this alone, but we are going to uncheck show clouds. Next, we're going to uncheck show ground. Next, we're going to uncheck show fog. There we go. So now you can see we've gotten rid of a lot of these different things that would show things here. But next, or the last thing you want to do, so like I said, Streamlabs has the ability to take in a image and make the background transparent with a transparent background and gives you a background. Let's say you want to use this in another project. Doesn't matter. There are a couple options. The first option here is right here. Go to sky, and you want to pick that lovely bright green or another color that is not on your player model. So for example, I was like, oh, I'm just going to use white. Oh, but white of my eyes would then be transparent. You don't want to do that. But you can just do that right here. Boom, you're absolutely done. Another thing you can do, depending on how you want, I'm trying to zoom in just slightly. Come on, there we go. Yeah, let's just zoom in. Mouse wheel to zoom in. Just that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, you've got a couple options up here. The first option here is to export the movie. This is what we're going to do. Or you can export a single frame as an image. So you could do it right here. I'm going to export the whole movie right there. And usually it's going to say at this MP4. Okay? Oh, one other thing to do. One other thing to do before we jump on. I almost forgot this. Right now we're using Vanilla Minecraft as the export. If you go right here, this gives you a little bit of that shader quality to it. So when we play it, you get just that little bit of maybe like shading to it. All right, so just something to point out. I'm going to use that one. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, going back here. So usually it's here. We are going to change it to PNG sequence because we want a sequence of backgrounds for this GIF that we're going to create. Now, here is the difference between Streamlabs and any other project you're going to do. Oh, that doesn't give you a background. So the difference is right here, this remove background. Okay, if I click remove background, it is going to take that green and it is going to come through as transparent, which is super convenient. Again, for Streamlabs, it's super convenient. If you've already got the green back there, it doesn't matter necessarily, as long as it's the same green as the thing you're importing it into, which could be a problem. But for Streamlabs, I'm going to leave it like that. If you're using this individually for some other project that you want, you can just leave the remove or uncheck the remove background and do it there. So like with OBS, if you want to have this just on your personal OBS or slabs, then you can chroma key it off of there. But I'm going to click remove background and I'm going to hit save. Now, it's giving me an option, and I'm not going to show you this screen, to save the pictures in a certain location, and I'm going to hit save. And then it's going to do this. It's giving me 150 images, and they're all being exported as individual frames. And boom, done. Again, I'm doing this in real time. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything that we're doing here. All right, so next we're going to go into my other favorite program called Gimp. All these programs are free, by the way. I am never going to advocate for something that is not free. But give me 1 second. I'm going to drag this over because I do want to see something when I do the open. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I'm just making sure that I know that I need to blur something out. All right, so here is OBS, or not OBS. This is Gimp. This is a very, very powerful editor of photos. It's professional quality. It's free. There are other programs out there. If you've got your favorite one, go ahead and use it. I'm going to show you how to use this one specifically. So what you can do is you can go up to File and Open. You're going to find your projects. In this one, we did Keeger's demo. And this is going to sound very strange, but I want you to open up the last one. See, there are 151 frames, and they start with 1 and go to 151. Click, open. All right, there is my lovely little person. He is there. That is the last frame of the thing. Now we're going to go to File, Open as Layers. We're in the same spot, and we're just going to click on 150. And then on a Mac or PC, you scroll down, you push and hold the Shift key, and click on 1. Notice that they all turned black or dark for me. And then hit open. Now watch down here. Right there. Now they're all going to import. And they're all going to import in order of the images that are coming in of the name. So we're just waiting for them to come in. It's not going to take too long. You can see there we're at 117, so, or no, 101. So just grab a coffee, take a break, relax. All right, so there we go. So look at this ugly image. I mean, just seriously, look at this thing. All right, so this is going to sound absolutely bizarre, but the very first thing you're going to do in Gimp, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to Layer. You're going to go to Stack, and you're going to reverse the order. I know this makes absolutely no sense. Trust me, it does when you see what happens. Because for some reason, the way that Gimp works is that it actually animates the opposite order. It'll be fine. So you want, when you look at your stack over here, you want to make sure that 151 is at the top and 1 is at the bottom. Okay? Next, we're going to do, just so you can kind of see, we're going to go to Filters, Animation. Now, don't hit this button. For the love of Pete, never, don't hit this button. So, I don't know how to fix it well. Don't hit this button, okay? Anyway, what it does is it'll actually make the animation look like this. The arm will go up, and you will see every single layer that is there, and it's really bad. So don't do that. But let's just hit playback. And I'm going to grab this. It's over here. And we're going to say it's at 30 frames per second, 1 frame, and we're going to hit play. And look at that. That's exactly what we want to look at, right? Perfect. Okay. Another thing you might want to do when you've got this, it just depends on your feeling, is I'm actually going to grab this guy, and I'm going to grab, see where the arm comes all the way out here? I'm going to grab this. I'm going to just do this. Bam. Just to make it kind of as small as possible, okay? Boom. And you double click and look at that. Now it's super tiny. It's really nice. One more thing we're gonna do before we actually do anything with the GIF is we're gonna go to Image, Mode, and we're gonna go to Indexed. Now what this does is it takes the color palette, instead of making it complicated, it makes it super simple. So it looks at all your colors and it goes, oh, you've got this color, this color, this color, this color. And what it does, what that means in long-winded language of keygears is that it's going to make your image smaller, okay? So smaller is better. All right, that was the only things we had to do here to make this GIF. Now we're going to go to File, Export As, don't do Overwrite, Export As, and we're going to go to Desktop, and we're gonna go, I'm gonna go here and go delete this underscore 151.png. I'm gonna do .gif. So this program is amazing. It detects, oh, you want to make a GIF just from doing that. So I'm gonna hit export. It's gonna give you some options. Now, super important. This one, super important. This one, super important. Okay, so the 30 milliseconds is really, really important because that's the time between the pictures. And with the time between, you want to keep it around that 30 milliseconds. This guy made a mistake, and I want you to learn from my mistakes. When I first was working with GIFs, they weren't moving fast enough. I was like, what's going on? I don't get it. What's going on? So I put this all the way down to 10. Well, then I found out what happens is that the browser or the image player will actually then revert it back to about 100. Okay, so keep it around that 30 mark. That's where you want to be. Next is 1 frame per layer. That's where that frame gets replaced. Otherwise, it would have that swooping effect like I was talking about where all of them come at once. Check these 2 buttons because you want to use the delay and you want to use the disposal, and you hit export. Now, the other option you can do here is loop forever. I'm not going to loop it forever. I'm just going to have it loop through once. But if you wanted to have something where the image loops over and over and over again, you can click that button, but we're not going to do that. Also, you're seeing all these options. You might also have to click this as animation button. So hit export. It exports all these things. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to bring up my desktop, refresh it. Here it is. There you go. That is the GIF. That's it. That is it. And again, you can then go into Streamlabs, OBS, and you can import that. You can do a heck of a lot of things with that. So that is a half hour. I'm sorry that it took so long, but I feel like that was step by step by step. You can go from having literally nothing to an animated GIF of your Minecraft character that you can use anywhere you want in a half hour. Okay? So thank you for sticking it out. If you have any questions or you want me to post any other content relating to Mine-imator, GIF, whatever, or GIMP, sorry, I am more than willing to do that. So hopefully this tutorial was complete for you. If you want me to go through the installation processes, that you go download them, look for GIMP, G-I-M-P, Mine-imator. I'll put links in the description below. You literally download it, you import, you next, sign your life away with all their things. It's not a big deal. But that's it. That's it. Okay. Thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and you have a wonderful day.